Okay, so I'm still gagged from Megan being Michael's queen. Like, what? Let's get into it. Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Listen, I thought that Michael was scamming Megan. Are Megan and Michael scamming Sarah? What the hell is going on? That is why Megan talks about Sarah like that. Because, oh my gosh, wow. This was a twist I wasn't expecting. Y'all, when Sarah does her black scent, I can't. It sends me every time. Let's go pick up Day so Michael can meet him. Girl, what? It's all black men's fault. Okay, with all respect, right? With all respect, I'm gonna give it to Michael's mama, right? But ma'am, you're wrong. She's so wrong. The fact that with Sarah, she's like, oh yeah, Sarah grew on me. Like the way she was talking about her, I get it, right? You probably wanted Michael to be with somebody else. However, he married Sarah. She has had his child, your freaking granddaughter. You should not be talking about your daughter-in-law like that on national TV, because that's going to create a rift in a relationship, and you never want to get in bed with the mama, okay? Because she can keep her away from you. So I didn't think that was smart of her, and I didn't like it. Because I felt this, and I hope I'm wrong, but I felt like the mom was going along with Michael, mistreating Sarah, because I feel like, and I gotta be honest, I feel like she wanted him to be with a black woman. So the fact that her son is harming this white woman in favor for this black woman, I feel like she's okay with that, because that's who she wanted him to be with anyway. Because I felt it when she said Sarah grew on me. So I don't feel like she wanted him to be with a white woman. And now that he's cheating on her with a black woman, she's okay with that. And she's trying to, even when she was talking to Megan, I'm like, are you kidding me? That is your daughter-in-law. Like, that is the mother of your granddaughter. Why are you? I don't know. I didn't like it. I get it. Listen, this is America. I totally understand the issues that we have, right? But that's your daughter-in-law, ma'am. He made the decision to marry her and lay down with her and get her pregnant. And that is the mother of your granddaughter. You have to give her your respect first. She has your loyalty, not Megan. I didn't like that. When she was talking to Megan, y'all, I was so pissed. So pissed. Because she was so happy to talk to Megan, and it wasn't right. And she's like, well, that's how Michael is. I know. Why are you okay with that? As a mother, you should be disappointed. You should train your son how to treat a woman. He should never be in these situations. And you know what? Michael's life explains everything. Like, just seeing his mom, it explains it all to me. Like, I know they love each other. I know he's a great big brother to his little sister, but that mother, it explained a lot. A lot. So Sarah leaves with Michael's little sister to go pick up her boyfriend so that Michael could meet him. As soon as she leaves, Michael, let me call my girl. Michael, you're wrong. Sarah, that is your wife. That is your wife, the mother of your child. Like, she deserves your respect. Oh, I can't. That's so wrong. So wrong. And you know what? I can't even get with Michael trying to give us this sob story that he's leading Sarah on because he doesn't want her to take his child away from him. Listen, you weren't concerned about your child being taken away from you when you were robbing people and going to prison. So why are you concerned now? Now you got to play Megan and Sarah so that you can see your child. Stop with the sob story. Stop with the games. Like, that's not right what you're doing, Michael. It's wrong. You and Sarah could successfully co-parent. She don't give me the type of chick that would keep you away from your child, especially when you look just like the damn kid. Like, come on. Messy. And the fact that the mother condones this, that pisses me off. The fact that she condones his behavior and was talking to Megan. That's wrong. Wrong. So Michael, one of Michael's friends, right? was like, what in the Malibu's Most Wanted is going on here? I'm trying to see what that studio do. You hear me? What? I'm like, dude, you are not speaking Ebonics. You're speaking idiot. Like, what are you doing? Where did Michael find these white people? Like, what? from the way he was dressed, he talking to Sarah. Why you getting mad? What you mad for? Corny. All of them is corny. And then we have Sarah Cole switching again. You real good at that. You real good at that. I can't, y'all. I can't. I feel bad for Sarah, right? But when she dropped that black scent, it takes me out. It takes me out. Now, I get that she was mad that he was leaving her because she's right. Like, I just saw you. You know what I mean? And now you're leaving me here with your family. I also understand Michael is just like, I'm leaving to go parole in New York to be close to my child. Let me hang out with my friends, but go over that with her. Don't just sit and abandon her and go to the studio, especially when she know that the studio, y'all don't do no good in the studio at all. And speaking of the studio, now I know how the producers got Michael. Michael reached out because Michael wants his exposure for his rap career. That's exactly what's going on here. This is exposure. So he's going to be as messy as he can be. He'll throw anybody under the bus so that he can get as much TV time. And even if he's a villain, he wants to become famous off of this TV show. He is milking this TV show and the women in his life for fame. And that's sick. Absolutely sick. Matt and Caitlyn. Still feel bad for Caitlyn. I'm very scared for her because Matt hasn't hit rock bottom. He is not talking about his addiction or prison like it's something in his past that he needs to overcome. Like, he is talking about it like it's a freaking option. And I'm just very concerned. He doesn't take responsibility for anything. He's very nasty to Caitlyn and especially his mother. And my mother always told me, watch how a man treats his mama. Okay, Caitlyn, look how he treating his mama. Why do you think that he's going to treat you any better? Okay, he might treat you worse because if he treat the vagina that he came out of like crap, how do you think he's going to treat the one he trying to get in? Girl, stay woke. Stay woke. And another thing about Matt that bothers me, he is beyond defensive. Like, he snaps at Caitlyn and his mom even when they're having a good time. Because first of all, he was the one who brought up jumping out of the window and escaping or whatever. So they were joking with him and just like, oh, you won't do it again? No, if I want to, you won't stop me. What the hell happened? Y'all was having a good time, joking and laughing. Now you're like snapping at the both of them. And I feel bad for the women in his life because Matt's mom and Caitlyn don't say anything. Like, Caitlyn challenges him a bit, but she always falls back because they don't want to trigger him. And I'm just like, that's not fair. Y'all not going to be walking on eggshells in your life to appease him because you're afraid that he's going to go back to meth. Listen, he's telling y'all that it's an option, that he wants to go back to it. So listen, I'm hoping that y'all not in the same situation, but Matt he hasn't hit his rock bottom. Caitlyn. Girl, you don't deserve that at all. Ooh, Lizzie and Scott. Hell no. I am triggered by that makeover and that kiss. Lizzie, I think she had good intentions, okay? To make over Scott, I felt like she wanted to make him over so that he could be more attractive to her. Because I think she realizes that in order to keep him, she's going to have to get physical with him. And looking the way he looked, she was not okay with it. But I felt like the makeover didn't do well. Like, she made him look like a Whoville character. He did not look good. And then it just magnified that he's missing teeth. And she gave him the Count Dracula. It wasn't a good makeover, but at least she tried. At least she tried. And then that kiss. I felt like she gave him that kiss to hold him over, but she's still not attracted to him. She even said it. She's like, I usually go after attractive guys, but that doesn't work out for me, so I'm trying the opposite. I'm like, so you just called Scott ugly. And again, I just feel sorry for Adam, because Scott even admitted it, that he doesn't make the best decisions, so Adam has to look out for him. That's not how it works. It should be the other way around. Poor Adam doesn't have a life because he's chasing after his father to make sure he's okay. Like, how old is Adam? This isn't fair, Scott. You are being so unfair to your son. He has no life. His life is you and watching you and making sure you don't make dumb decisions. Who's the parent? Okay, let's talk about Jasmine. So I get that she is angry at Scott because he enabled her mother in prison. Very understandable. but I do think a lot of her anger is misguided. I don't think she wants to get mad at her mom because she doesn't want to trigger her. And that's a lot of things that you do with an addict. A lot of times you got to walk on eggshells because you don't want to trigger them. And then you get tired of that and you start living your damn life and being like, you got to be responsible for your own life. I can't do it, right? I think she's in the beginning stages because she's very careful with her mom, but she has a lot of anger and she puts it on Scott. And I don't think it's fair because she doesn't really know Scott, you know? And I think him giving her mom the money in prison just gave her something to, you know, give her anger like an outlet, you know what I mean? But I think a lot of her anger should be directed towards her mother who abandoned her for, you know, the life on the streets or whatever and drugs or what. Like, your mom gave you life. She was supposed to be there. She made the choice to not do that. Whether she was dealing with demons or not, she's still your parent and she abandoned you, honey. You got to be mad at your mom. You can't be mad at Scott. He didn't give you life. Lizzie did. And your father. Where the hell is your dad? Oh, does she not know him? See, that's another thing. Producers, what's going on? Where's Jasmine's father? Marcelino and Brittany. I want Brittany to get out of this relationship. It is not healthy for her. Marcelino is abusive. And Brittany deserves better. He is not helping her. I feel like he is going to push her back into prison or into her addiction because the way he treats her, I feel so bad for her. He is so horrible to her. I'm telling y'all, I knew something was up with that dude. I knew it. I couldn't put my finger on it, but now we see what's going on. He is nuts, okay? And Brittany needs to be far away from that dude. Far away from him, and she needs to be with a child. So we're at this dinner where Brittany is introducing Marcelino to her friend, her bunkmate or whatever. And from what I know is that when you share a bunk in prison, you guys get very, very close. I mean, you have to. It's such small quarters. But, you know, you're in a very sad place. So you make joy wherever you can. So I understand that relationship because I've really heard that you get really close with a lot of people in prison. You have to, right? So she loves Marcelino or is very grateful to him. So she wants to introduce him to somebody who's very important to her as well. And she introduces Marcelino to her bunkmate. He's mad because the girl is a little bit late or whatever. The girl comes in, she's so welcoming, so happy to meet him, so happy for her friend. And Marcelino's just horrible to her. And no matter how terrible he is to her, she's still so kind. Still so kind to him. And he's so nasty for no reason. It's because he's controlling. And he doesn't want her to be around anybody else who will get her out of that controlling situation. Brittany, I want you out of this, girl. This is not healthy at all. It's just so shocking to me how quickly Marcelino went from this guy that listened to Brittany's stories about her childhood and got her that beautiful quarter souvenir, you know, booklet to this controlling monster so quick. Man, Brittany, I really was hoping that he would be better. I knew something was up with him, but I didn't think it was this. But wow. That he did a 180 real quick. So here's another part to this story. Marcelino gets up from the table and goes, you know, to the bathroom or whatever because he's just angry at Brittany and her friend for no reason. Controlling monster. R. Kelly, okay. Anyway, so her friend starts talking to Brittany about Brittany's girlfriend in prison. And Brittany is just like, oh, well, she's out too. And we should all get together and hang out. And Brittany's friend is like, bunkmate, are you serious? Like, you think that's healthy? She's like, oh no, we're just going to be friends. And here's what I think is happening. Brittany is still in love with her girlfriend that she had in prison. But I don't think the girlfriend has the same means to be able to support her that Marcelino has. And I think Brittany feels indebted to Marcelino for everything that he did for her when she was in prison and what he's currently doing for her now. But I think if she had her way, if she was on her own 2 feet and she can make a decision on her own without needing the support of Marcelino, she would choose her girlfriend that she met in prison, which makes sense that all the time in Marcelino's confessionals, he's talking about she needs the love only a man can give. That's just storyline. So they're building us up probably to Brittany running back to this girl and them two being in a relationship. I don't think that's good for her either. I think Brittany needs to focus on being single. She needs to focus on her recovery and getting her child back, or at least getting to a point where she can be successful in her child's life, where she can co-parent. I don't think she needs to be in any of these relationships. I think she needs to focus on her. And I think that's probably been her problem her whole life, because she's had such a dark childhood. Whenever somebody comes into her life that is kind to her, she clings on to them for some kind of survival. And I think she needs to figure out how to survive on her own without leaning on somebody else. She got to stop being codependent. I think that's what keeps on bringing her down. I want her on her own 2 feet. I'm hoping that by the end of this season, we really get a fairy tale ending for her. I want it for her. She has really just got my heart, and I just want the best for her. I really, really do. Her and her child. Clint and Tracy. Ratings gold. This couple had me laughing the entire episode. They are just hilarious together, and I kind of like them together. Although I know that Tracy is scamming, I like this wild and crazy couple. I do. I really, really do. So Clint takes Tracy to dinner, and I'm telling you, first of all, she got these big block heels that she can't walk in, this too small Charlotte Russe dress that she looked like she got out of the junior section, this Rocky Horror Picture Show makeup, but her hair was great. Like, they did a really good job on her hair. But anyway, they're walking up to the restaurant, and while Tracy is like, oh, I need a shot. And I'm like, can she drink when she's on parole? I think Tracy has broken all of her parole rules, like all of them, in just a day. Anyway, so they get to this restaurant, and Clint is like, oh, $13 for mac and cheese, with his chain belt on. And then he like runs to the back, and he's like, oh, I'm really nervous. I have to get myself together because he's about to propose to Tracy. So he finally comes back after he worked up the nerve to propose to her. And he proposes to Tracy. Nobody in this freaking restaurant is fake. He literally gets down on one knee, and people are still like eating their chicken wings, and like nobody cares. The only time they reacted was when he was like, she said yes. And I felt like the producer was in the background like telling him to clap because nobody cared. But the funniest thing to me was Tracy stood up, bent over, butt out in this dress, and kissed Clint and said yes. And I'm like, I know it's going to crash and burn, but I want it to work because I like this couple. I really do. And then we get to a part that I felt like we could have done without. Triggering. This whole episode was very triggering. We get to the hotel. Tracy, like, these prisoners have no shame, okay? They are very comfortable with the cameras. She like straddles Clint, who's in like a sweater shirt, his whole outfit, these big Doc Martens. He dresses like a 16-year-old emo kid. Like, I can't. But she's like straddling him in this dress. She's like, oh, I know what you're ready for. So she's straddling him in the dress, butt out, okay? The dress is all the way up, butt out. Coochie gut is like sitting on Clint's junk. She like is ready to pull her titty out and put it in his mouth. And I'm like, when is the camera gonna cut? When are we gonna get out of this? Because I can't look away, but I want. Shout out to Tracy for body positivity, because you can't tell her that she is not a size 6. That girl is loving the body that she gained 20 or so pounds in prison, but she is still loving her curves. So go ahead, sis, work. Anyway, they finally leave after Clint like pushes out the camera, and then we hear Tracy rocking his world, and I am disgusted. Oh gosh, but shout out to this crazy couple. Congrats, Clint, on your engagement. I feel like these two are going to be ratings gold. Ratings gold. It was just so funny. I was cracking up the whole time watching them. Tracy is a character. Clint is a character. I want them to work. I don't think it will, but I will keep on watching. So that is the end of the episode, and that is it for me. I will see you next week for the following episode of Love After Lockup. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you for the following episode of Love After Lockup. I said it twice, I know. I'm tired. Love y'all. Happy New Year.